obviously don't be nervous. You're just talking to me.
Word.
Just don't even think about that. It's recording and potentially millions of people could be listening to this and watching this. Don't even think about that at all. Just not in the slightest.
The best part.
That's the best part. So, guys, this is Embers on the Rock. This is I guess the first interview on this channel, and I have two guests. If you are knowing of my identity, which is Senpapi Rick, and every single time you see the intro of a video, you will hear a song, and the music I'll use is always between these two individuals. And the person on my right on my screen, he used to go by Infy. Now it is Umbra, correct?
Yes, it is. It is Umbra Violet.
There you go. So Infy is now deceased, gone, burned, just massacred, mutilated, just banished,
Gone.
and just ceased from existence. And now it is Umbra Violet. And below me,
Yes.
I have the awesome and very talented Love Panda.
Hello. Oh,
So
that's me.
this is Umbra. Again, and essentially, this is both of y'all first time doing an interview, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my first time on camera doing an interview, and
This is
yeah,
not like a
if
job
it's-
interview type of thing. This is more just chill, lay back.
No, yeah, it's different though because I've always wanted to do like an interview with Pandas because I feel like the synergy was always there. So I am a little bit more nervous about this one than my first one, but
Oh, nothing to be worried about.
I am popping both the cherries with comes to interviews. They're both, essentially good friends. Well, he is my cousin, and she's
Yes.
a very dear friend of mine as well. So it's this. I love both their music. I love both their works, and you guys been hearing them for basically 2.5 years already. And I just thought, hey, since this channel is gonna go through DJs, music artists, coffee makers, or even coffee shop owners, to restaurants, to bars, to alcohol and spirit makers. Since I'm traveling with that whole entire, I guess, variety, why not make the first episode artists that I'm affiliated with and good friends with? And this is the introduction to Embers and the Rock and what's basically to come. So I guess the
Yes.
first thing I could ask both of you guys is tell us, people who are watching, more about you guys and just a little background, and I'll get a little more in depth, but talk about yourself and the whole music journey, or just the journey in general of just life.
all right, I'll open this one up. Name's Umbra Violet, age 22. I was born in Jersey with Rick. As he said before, we're cousins. We grew up pretty close and stuff. As far as my artistry and just music, as Rick and I, we're always together. We always listen to music. My mother always threw parties and like stuff like that. So I kind of really gravitated towards music. I've always really liked music. I've always really liked just dancing around. I was always that type of person. And yeah, I always figured something in music would kind of spark, and it took me quite some time to get into it, but I do enjoy it, and that's how I met the beautiful Pandas. Pandas. Yeah, it was weird how we met too. It was really weird, but all in all, here we are. 2.5 years later, just right here,
It
right
kind
now.
of felt like the universe just threw us together and was like, come on, make some tracks, if I'm honest.
Yeah, like it's just like how the universe was like, all right, yeah, these two need to meet up. Let's kind of push this little agenda out there. So it's really crazy how like everything kind of intertwined, and here we are.
All right, Panda, what about you? Tell me about yourself.
I'm Love Pandas. I don't even know how I came up with the name, if I'm honest. There's so many different reasons, but I make music to escape pain, and it works a lot. So yeah, that's why I do it, and to help others. That's a really big push for me, if I'm honest. Like,
Yeah, definitely same. I agree with that 100%.
Love Pandas is not really me. It's not like I make songs about my personal experiences. I have done, and I will do. There is elements of me in it, but it's mainly a figure that I wanted to create to just help people because I don't trust myself to do it. So
No,
yeah.
I could definitely relate. I could definitely relate. I think like that's another big thing about, you guys always ask me like, oh, why do you always change your name? Like stuff like that. Like why is there so many different name changes? And I feel like the biggest reason for that was just creating that identity that I was comfortable with becoming while also best representing who I can be without pretending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like Umbra Violet is more so of the final phase of who Hector is, but it's more so of a kind of down to earth, really open and emotional type of person. So I try to live my life as Umbra Violet to be a little bit more personal with my music and like the interactions I have.
Yeah, I think a lot of creators who go by a different name and just in general that like to bring joy to others kind of have the same mindset.
Yeah.
So,
Babe, a lot of rappers nowadays, like even like from Juice World, back when he was in high school, I remember seeing the little Nardwar, the little compilations of him doing the interviews, and people like, "What the fuck? How do you know this?" And
Yeah.
Yeah.
like with Ugly God, he used to go by Young Hermit Crab before like a week, and then I think Juice WRLD was like Jazzy something, or even like Post Malone. I forgot what was his, his pre-Malone name with the whole 90s song in his college days.
Yeah,
But like everybody
booty
has yeah.
the Tyler the Creator ones are so good. I love
Yeah.
Tyler the Creator. He's so good.
Yeah, and then you have like all these individuals have different names. Like even like Eminem, you have the Marshall Mathers side of him, you have the Slim Shady side of him, you have the Eminem
Yeah.
side of him. So
Yeah,
people have different personas, and sometimes they don't stick with the name until they know, yes, this is the one. And you guys, you're both still early in the game. You're both still exploring. You're still finding your true self, and it's a lot of like soul searching. Even like with me with Senpapi Rick. Yes, I stick to this name, but before Senpapi Rick, I landed on I like chicken, but but I'm still in development. Now I have this channel, Embers in the Rock, which will be essentially just Rick. I'm trying to have this as a separate identity than Senpapi Rick, because Senpapi
Yeah.
is known for mostly goons related stuff or compilation related stuff. I'm now soul searching myself and trying to find my own identity. And the whole Sticks and Fire and the whole Embers in the Rock is gonna be just Rick. And that's the goal I always have. And then I know that's the same goals you have. Like you guys want, one side is a person that you wish you could be, and you just let that be out. And then you just know like your true self is like, damn, I wish I could be that person. So it's like I went through the same thing growing up.
yeah.
But tell me the story how y'all two met.
Okay. So as my memory recalls, now I'm not the best memorable type of person. So Pandas can update whatever I failed to bring up. I met Pandas through a mutual friend called Ginfinity. Shout out to Ginfinity.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Ginfinity enough, but Ginfinity is a cool dude. So basically, I don't really know what me and Jin were talking about. I don't know how this came to be, but around this time, my friend Austin, he passed away. So I wanted to make a song dedicated to him. And around this time, I wasn't doing any singing stuff yet. I sang one song. It was called Love Hate. Horrible song. But I really want to do I really want to do something different for him. So I ended up being dragged to Discord, and I get added to I got added to a group chat. Was I? Yeah, I got added to a group chat.
You added to Jay's Discord.
Yeah, so it was Jay's Discord. I believe you were there already. And I think I got on call with Jay or something. like that, or either I was talking to Jay or something, and then you came across. We started talking. You dropped like some of your links for your songs or whatever the case might be. I listened to it and I was like, "Yo, I gotta work with this dude." This was way before you came out, so we're gonna go with
Yeah,
dude
no,
back
no, no,
then.
it's fine, it's fine.
Okay. So I hit you up, and I'm just like, yeah, I really want to like do this song. I forgot the name of it. Horrible. Oh my god.
Fallen Brother.
Fallen Brother. There we go. It's Fallen Brother. Thank you. I've made too many songs. But yeah, so you did the hook, and then you sent it to me, and I was just like, yo, this is crazy. Like this is so good. I mean, at the time, I viewed you as like, yo, like this dude is like has mad potential. This guy's gonna go far. So I really wanted to like impress you with like my verse. So I kind of just laid it out. And yeah, we met and just like made like our first like that. Like, it's pretty cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
I gotta hop on a track with you guys. Like I just come out of nowhere like my money don't jiggle. It falls.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, before that, like for me, like when I first came into the music scene, I was using my iPad to record songs, right? So, like, it sounded bad, and I'm never gonna tell any of you my old artist name because there are so many songs of bad shit, and I'm not. No, don't say it.
That's all I'm gonna say. The duck song.
Okay, we're not talking about the duck song, okay? You throw me off. No, but after that, I became Lovxpandas, and I met like a whole group of people, right, who I just saw as like incredible artists. I used to play their stuff all the time. I used to like message them, and they were probably at the same sort of level as Infy and I are at now. Sorry, Umbra, and I wanted to learn so much from these guys, and I did learn, and they did teach me their stuff, but they also weren't very nice about it. And then they ended up leaving, and I ended up leaving, and for some reason, after I had learned all their tricks and how they go about stuff, and I started learning and adding my own stuff to it, no one wanted to work with me. People were just like, no, I don't want to. And I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if it's just because of me. I don't know if I did something, or if it's just they felt like they couldn't fit on the track with me. I don't really get it. But the fact that when I met Infy at the time, and he was down to just make a song, I was like, yes, finally. I don't like making songs by myself. Working with someone is so much more interesting. Yeah. Because I like bringing someone else's vision to life. So it was just, and the song meant a lot to him, and that was scary if I want it on my part, because I was like, I really have to do something, and I hope I succeeded. But
yeah, no, it's funny because like the way like you looked at like your first group of people was exactly the same way like I viewed you. I was just like, yeah, I need to be this guy's friend, and I need to learn like all these tricks because I'm trying to get there. It's just weird how like it all just like circles like back around. Just right, it's I don't know.
Yeah, and life, you've probably got people looking at you in the same way. So that's how it goes, isn't it? It's just that's life.
Yeah, like I said, when it comes to anything, any industry, let it be from gaming, hello me, whatever, to music, to even like cigars, since I'm very prominent in the cigar community as well, you're always going to have individuals, for some reason they're just weird people entirely, and they see you, either if they see that you're too good, they see you as a threat, and that may have been the case with why they kind of like brushed you off, because your talent, you have a whole bunch of talent, you're amazing vocal wise, range wise, any type of beat you can put on you, and it's just you slay it. And that goes same thing for Umbra. And it's like you guys have major potential, and when people who are quote unquote mediocre, when they see that, they're gonna try to brush you off, and they're gonna try to like make you feel like you're below them. In reality, you're above. And that goes for the gaming world too. There's people who I collaborated with, and you could tell people only want to collaborate for the notoriety, whatever Spanish accent here and there. You know, I don't speak Spanish. I'm horrible with
Notoriety.
English. That's the word. Anyway, thank you. Mind your business.
No problem.
But but people sometimes they just want to collab for that one reason, that reason only, and you could tell that. And when they see something, they want to kind of like abuse you to get that recognition. And then once they get what they want, they just toss it aside and then dip.
Yep.
And I feel like that may had happened with you guys. And at the end of the day, look at you guys now. So you both are doing well in Spotify. You both have a lot of hits. I try my best to push as much as I can with you for you guys. And it's phenomenal. And you two coming together. The songs are obviously amazing. Solo tracks are still amazing. And when it comes to industries like this, you have to be selfish.
Yeah. And it sucks too, because like I used to not want to be that type of like selfish individual. Because I don't believe in, personal gain type thing. Like it's one thing to, want to better yourself, but I feel like in the cost of harming someone else, it shouldn't be about your growth, But unfortunately, in the type of world and business that we all associate ourselves with, whether it's gaming, music, artistry, dancing, it is some form of competitiveness. It is some form of not necessarily, it's not a race to the finish line, because everyone has their different time spurts of getting there. So it's not about who gets there first, but it's about who lasts longer. This is a game of longevity. This isn't a game of just, hey, let me just make it here. Because, we
a game for stamina.
This is a long race. So, I feel like it's okay to have these breaks or these kind of moments where we're going slow or we're almost feeling stagnant. So I don't know. This business is definitely like it's not for lighthearted people. I'll say that. It's not for lighthearted people at all. It's not for people who are weak-minded. No disrespect to people, but like this is a business.
I also want to say it's just about making music that also has stamina as well. Like you want to make something that will last forever, really. I mean, that's my goal anyway. But usually when people create, they want it to last.
Yeah, you want to have art that essentially has replay value.
Yeah,
most definitely.
And there's thousands of classics out there that still gets played to this day, and it's like there's songs from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s that even today kids who are just born in the, either late 2000s or even early 2010s would know these 70s, 80s, and 90s songs because they have the longevity and the stamina.
You know what's crazy? Y'all remember when YouTube first came out and all those Swedish house songs for like A&Ds and all of that kind of like Bass Hunter and all that category came through? Yo, the world got taken over by that. And it's crazy because like, I don't think many people still talk about those type of songs to this day, but I guarantee you, any of you guys go back to those Swedish little songs that we used to listen to on when YouTube first came out, and you listen to a song with your headphones one day, it's still gonna like, and that's like I want to have that type of, oh man, I want to have that type of like impact with my music one day.
And it's very doable. Like I said, you just got to find the right formula, and just at the end of the day, some people look for beats, but majority of people look for the artist. When they fall in love with the artist, they pretty much love anything they do. And when you have fun with the music you create, it doesn't matter if it's really much of a flop, because you will have that loyal fan base that will still eat it up.
Yeah. Well,
obviously the point is not to make flops, but when you are so passionate about something, and even if quote unquote it is a risk song, if people love you as just an individual, you could take these kind of risks because hey, Panda's this person, Umbra's this person. I trust, and I could understand probably his or her point of view of why they created this song, or this or that or this or that, and they'll give it a chance instead of just blowing it off immediately. If people who don't know who the hell you guys are, so it's like
Yeah.
you guys could create that, a name for yourself that could potentially, even those who don't know who you are, they could probably heard of your name before and like, wow, I may not heard this person's song, but I know this person's a cool person.
Yeah.
True.
You know, when you said create like a risk sort of song, that's how I view every single song. Because then that way it's like, okay, I need to make sure that this works. Like whether it's a different style or not, I need to add elements of it that can bring in a mainstream
I can
audience.
testify that this is true. There's times where, especially like when I wasn't so busy and stuff, and we was like really talking a lot, she would call me at like after every song. Hop on Discord, blah 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 blah. Let's go on E-class. Yo, we would go through like 20 songs, and then she would just be like, "Oh, do you like that? Oh, I really don't like this. This is kind of wank, bro." And I'm just like, "Nah, it's fire. It's fire. Like what do you mean?" Like I remember when she showed me, it was Brain, and there was another song. There,
Ego?
no, not Ego. I just got wait. I just hopped in a new Wraith and she sucked me off in it. In it. Oh my god, I have to listen to In It again, bro. By the way, can you please drop In It on Spotify? Anyways,
Yeah.
In It. Thank you. In It. Those two tracks I adore by her so much, and those were the two songs that she was just like, I don't want to really drop it. I'm not really feeling it, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
what? Like what?
Yeah, no.
Brain is like insane. Like, what do you mean?
When I made Brain, I was making the Hope and Heart album, and I was just like, this song is mid as fuck. I was like, I just feel like it has nothing special about it. And then when I played it to Umbra, like, and he just really liked it, I was like, okay, there's clearly something here. And then I played it to Kyle, aka Sayless, and he was like, "No, this one's good." He was like, "The way it comes together, it just works." And then I started looking at the structure and everything a bit more, and without realizing, I had done a lot of like important tricks that do make good songs, and I just didn't see that I had done it. Because I hate to admit it, but sometimes I follow things kind of a bit by the book in a sense. Like I'll be like, oh, if it doesn't have these things, is it really a good song? And I don't really just listen to it. So, but I feel like I'm getting a bit better at that now. But yeah.
I mean, like for me, I even to this day, I still play Brain. That's my outro currently, and I love it. But one thing I also want to ask you guys: when "See You on the Moon" got tied to GameStop and the whole Reddit community for this "To the Moon" meme, how was your reaction when you heard that this very, very highly followed Reddit, essentially group, took that song for their little journey or like theme?
Honestly, when all right, so I had a really funny habit of constantly going on your YouTube channel and just scrolling through the comments of all the songs that were on the YouTube channel. One, to just really engage with the audience because it seemed like a lot more were there. So I was scrolling down, then I see the comments of someone saying, "Hey, I heard this from Reddit." The first thing that went through my head was like, Reddit, what? And then I think like a few days later, like they responded again. They told you about the link and stuff. You send it to me, and I go through the Reddit and I see like like I don't even remember. It's like 27,000 like freaking retweets and reposts or whatever the case was for how Reddit works. And then I see a bunch of people just like commenting, and I hear the song playing on this video, and I'm just like, yo, this is insane. I was this, because when we made "See You on the Moon," we didn't really think anything of it. Like we knew "See You on the Moon" was gonna be a good song, but we didn't know "See You on the Moon" was gonna be massive the way it is. So
Yeah.
it was really satisfying and also scary to hear that, like, hey, this song that we did just on a whim, just for fun, just doing really good. So I don't know. It was like a fever dream to me, especially like hearing GameStop playing our songs too, and it's just like, what? That's wild. I that's massive love. It's stuff like that that makes me really enjoy making music because it means like everything to me. Wow.
What you,
Yeah,
Panda?
my reaction was just, what's Reddit? And then I had to learn what Reddit was for a minute, and then I was like, oh, so someone shared it on there? That's cool, that's cool. But yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, it didn't really hit me like that. But no, but it's cool. I love it when anyone shares, or like even like one comment. Like it's just cool to see that someone actually gives a shit,
Yeah.
and I'm not in my head like wasting time.
Yeah.
But no, I've had a few comments that are like just little paragraphs of just people saying how it like, you know, the song means a lot to them, and I'm like it just, I don't know. I mean, I didn't even see Lovxpandas as like actually me, so I'm just like, yeah, me too. If anything, you know. But that's kind of how I view the whole process. I just see like Lovxpandas as like a different thing, and I'm just like, if this, how do I make my dream artist in a sense? So, and detaching myself from it allows me to not get ahead of myself, like, and think, oh, I'm the shit now. I got 1,000 streams. Like, nope. Like,
Yeah.
no, because that's not me.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I just don't want to view it like that. So, Lovxpandas isn't me. That's what, yeah.
This is why, like, in a sense, I love being around people like you guys, because I'm the same exact way. Because my friend Innocent, he would always tell me, "Oh my God, Rick, you know, you're such a big YouTuber, and you have all these people." I'm like, what? Like, I'm just me. I'm tiny, you know. I'm just a
You know,
little pebble.
because it's like, yeah, it's something that you've done, but you don't really catalog it to like, yeah, like I'm this big person now, because it doesn't really feel like that still. Like, because realistically, none of our personal lives have really changed that much from this yet. And you know, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like, you know, it's good that we've humbled ourselves to just, you know, not let the growth of, you know, our product just overshadow us as people. So
Yeah.
you know, I think it's hard for people to get a grip on that, because
They make
you
it
know,
part of their identity like too much.
yeah,
That's why I did the opposite. That's why I was like, it's not me. Keep it far away.
Yeah,
Because
it's
fuck that. It
people
comes
don't know
off
how
so
to.
cringe.
Yeah, people need to have to separate that ego, and it's like,
yeah,
yes, you're all big and you're a hot shot now, but you never know, anything can happen, and tomorrow's gone. It's like you gotta
because like
remain humble.
realistically, like we're all, you know, doing good, but I'm not the weekend. You know what I mean? Like
That's so
Pandas
good.
isn't like Pandas isn't Drake. You know, like
I'm not Wildcat.
or
Yeah,
like
no,
you know,
exactly.
like you know, you're not Mr. Beast. You know, like you're
But the
not
thing is,
pulling $53 million on YouTube. Like you know, it's
we don't have to be though, as well, and that's
you
the cool
yeah,
part.
like you don't have to. You know, it's not about that. It's
Yep.
about the quality of like what we're doing and what it brings light to them. Like, that's all that really should
It's a
matter.
job
And
at the end of the day as well. Like,
yeah, you know,
it's like it's like if you showed up, like, I don't know, to clean the aisles of a shop, someone's not gonna come up to you and be like, "Dude, you clean the aisles? That's it." Like, it's just a job. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I get that it looks and sounds a lot cooler than that, but I mean, come on.
I mean,
no, you know what's
you're not
crazy
wrong.
though.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because I will speak on that. I used to be like that a bit, but not in a ego sense. Like for example, when I first made music, I thought that by me making music, I would make like friends a lot easier through that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
me too.
you know, I thought like, you know, me doing something that would be cool to others. But I just did it because I wanted to. I thought people like gravitate towards me because of that, or I thought people would be a lot more accepting of me as a person towards that. And it just wasn't like that. And I used to hate it. I used to like not understand it. I used to be like, oh, but like I make music. Like, I'm a SoundCloud rapper, bro. I'm like X. You know what I
Mm.
mean? But then, at the end of the day, like, no one was like, around, or no one was trying to involve themselves personally with me. And it took me a while to understand that, like Panda said, this is just a job like anything else. It doesn't matter what you do. Realistically, what in the world that we live in, if we're not on a high pedestal level, then no one really goes out their way to just like be honest.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That is very true.
When you start off, like, and the reason why the mentality is, oh, it's a job, is mainly because everyone else sees it that way. Like, their whole
Yeah.
mindset is, I'm the best and I want to make money from it. They never think, oh, how do I make a product that people will actually enjoy? That's the difference between Infy and I and everyone else. Is everyone else around us is just like, how do we get money? How do we get money? How do we just get streams to get money? And it's never about building it, like building something genuine. And there are a lot of people in the underground who genuinely do want to create something for people to enjoy, and you can see who it is. You can really see
Absolutely.
because they stand out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's extremely true, because you don't get into these type of things, music, acting, gaming, YouTube, live streaming, any platform that could potentially get you quote unquote millions of dollars, football, even sports. You don't get into these things expecting money. You gotta put blood, sweat, and tears into it. You have to work hard for it. You gotta have passion for it, and you gotta be authentic. And that's the main key: authenticity. You can't just be a person that just expects, I'm gonna just drop this one song and this is gonna be my one hit wonder. I'm gonna get $20 million a year for this song. No, you gotta formally apply. You gotta listen to some songs. You gotta see what they're doing, why they're successful, why this person's doing this. Even for gaming, okay, these are the biggest gamers. Let me go watch their videos and see why they're different than the other millions of gamers that's out there uploading as well. You just gotta find these recipes, work on it, and try to apply it to yourself, and just be different at the same exact time. But as well as have a passion for it and not expect a check out after the first week. And so, like I said, if you love to do this type of work, at the end of the day, you don't see it as a job, you see it as a hobby. And if it ends up giving you money, then that's just a bonus. Exactly. And that's the big difference. It's like people who I like, for example, my boy Soup, his main passion has always been music, but he knew if he just started dropping songs, it wasn't gonna get any recognition. So he started gaming, and his gaming channel blew up. He's so close to 2 million subscribers. And as of 2018, he decided to create a band called Slackjaw and started pursuing that. Now he's touring basically all the South: Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Kansas, that little region. And he's slowly, pulling in shows and getting people to accept him to open and this. And he's finally brought up that thing he always was ambitious for. And that, he's getting paid for it. But even though when I had him on my 65 channel, he openly said that right now everything I'm doing is just no profit. I'm losing money, but I love what the fuck I'm doing. And if it gets to the point where if I'm start gaining, then that's just a plus. I love doing this, and I'm gonna continue doing it, even if it makes me lose everything I have. I'm gonna continue doing it. And that's how you separate. I can
definitely say Infy and I have been there.
So, because it's real. It's real to us, and that's why, like, I have listened to Soup's band before. I do actually like some of their songs too. Their songs are wild. I definitely do relate to that. And, it is one of those situations where if you do want to go on tour, if you do want to do shows, you are most of the time spending a lot of that money to set up that show. And if you're not selling those tickets, you will take a big hit. So, it's one of those situations where you need the money to lose the money. And I don't know. I'm just. I feel like we're just waiting for that moment. We're waiting for the time where we could just have that standpoint of, hey, let me like sacrifice 2 grand. If I lose it, I lose it.
Mm. Yeah. Also, I wanted to bring up something because I think it's important that because I never knew this, but I kind of got lucky in the sense of knowing it beforehand, which is psychology is very, very important in progressing in any of these types of creative things that you want to do because they're hard to get.
Yes.
You need to know how to get involved with people. Like, it's important. And I'm not saying learn to manipulate, do all these bad things, because you don't need to do that. You just need to know who to talk to and how to talk to them and how to be a decent person. You know, or to at least learn how to hide your bad traits to come off as a decent person. You know, like just be good for like a day or something, you know?
Yeah.
No,
And-
it's funny because I always used to crack on Pandas for that. It's weird because this was during a time where Pandas didn't know how to be her authentic self, so she was
Mhm.
setting way too many barriers and shells. And we would have a lot of late night conversations, late night talks, and we just have deep conversations about stuff. And I would always notice that there was a part of her that she would want to engage a bit more, but there was that fear of
Yeah.
potential lack of understanding that she pulled herself back. So I always made it like a note to just try to tell her it's going to be far better being yourself and getting any type of reaction than it is not being yourself and popping off, because then you just have to fake it and fake it and fake it. And there's always that, oh, fake it till you make it, but people never say that if you fake it long enough, you become it and you lose yourself. And so
Yeah.
it's far better off to be authentic and learn from your flaws and and character traits than to just completely hide yourself from the world. It's very important to accept yourself, and even if you don't accept yourself fully, it's important to understand that this platform is meant to reach out to anyone who is like you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not to down talk the furry community, but everyone else in society thinks it's weird. But guess what? There's like 20,000 people, 200,000 people surviving on, furry chats, and they're a strong community. Like, don't get that twisted. Yeah. Ever seen furries attack people? They on the internet, they go ham. It's literally like a pack of wolves.
Yeah.
But the point is is that it's such a strong community, But
But if you want to
for
make a
all of
furry
us-
anthem, you could just say that, like.
You have a persona? You got a persona? Is that why you're defending them? You got a persona?
I'm a chick.
So you're. I was gonna say, are you a turtle?
I mean, I'm slow mentally. I don't know physically. oh no. But no, it's one of
I
those
was
things
so
where
close to asking you guys what persona you would have.
A squirrel.
Oh no, it's a real thing now. It's a squirrel.
probably a penguin. I've always had infatuations with penguins. Remember when I always wanted a penguin as a pet?
Yeah.
I still
Penguins are
do.
lit. Penguins
Yeah.
are lit.
Penguins are fun. I saw a picture of penguins with afros, bro. Oh my god, the black in me screamed. Yeah, it's real, by the way. Penguins have afros. Well, some do.
What?
We got penguins marching down the line like freaking Martin Luther King, bro. Like, I salute, brother. Hell yeah.
Okay, but but
Rick's like, shit, we were so close to getting onto the next subject, and then we lost the train of thought.
we just went completely left. I forgot what I was gonna say now. My brain.
We're talking about being our authentic selves and
Yeah,
like psychology.
I just all my brain is now processing just a penguin
How
with an
did we get
afro. But yeah, to
Wait, I have a question.
yes.
Rick, how has psychology helped you in your position?
That is true. How has your, because you've always been a lot more of a open person with friends than I have, so I feel like it's been easier for you to get to talk to people. So how has your journey kind of been, and just like getting out and reaching out to people and stuff? Because I know that's a big proportion of your job.
I'm yin yang with myself. No, Senpapi Rick is more open, while me, I'm a little bit more closure with myself. I guess you could say conservative with just how I am as a person. I don't really welcome
Yeah.
many people in my life. Like a lot of people who I game with, I game with like over dozens of people, close to like 30 to 40 different people kind of range. But very few of them knows anything about me. And that is why I know how to separate it. Like Senpapi Rick is Senpapi Rick, and then you have me, Rick. Like even to this day, I never publicly put out my first or last name. So I kind of separate my two identities. I have a public figure and I have a private figure. And I think with the combination of me actually taking psychology in college and actually pay attention and learning how the brain works, and me going basically from middle school, I was severely bullied, and then transitions into more of a more outspoken and more, I guess, comfortable person. And like I hate being bullied and I hate the feeling of it. And I decided essentially to be the friend that I wish I had. And I started becoming friends with everybody, even the people who bullied me. I would go up to them and say, "Hey, listen, I know you're not doing so good in these essays. I know you're not doing good in math or in science. Let me tutor you." And they'll look at me like, "This motherfucker's just playing around." I'm like, dead ass, I'm being serious. I'll help you. I'll teach you how I get A's and B's. And I slowly started becoming not the cool kid, but I was just the equalizer. I was cool with the quote unquote dorks because I was a dork, and I was cool with the quote unquote jocks. And it was just that kind of psychology of just basically, it was kind of like code switching. You learn how to
adapt and evolve.
And especially when I started working at Walmart, I became a manager, and that's a big task. Especially I was the youngest manager in that building, and we have people there who've been working for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And you have a 20-year-old kid that just came in a year and a half ago, and now he's my boss. You have to learn how to be not really much of an iron fist, but learn to be authority.
Communicative.
Exactly. Communicative and an authority without seeming egotistical or just a dick.
Yeah.
And just being a manager for essentially almost 2 years kind of aged me, I guess, mentally. And then when I left that job and started doing YouTube and started communicating with people, I brought that with me. And you learn how to essentially vocalize and talk to people and reach out to people. And it's like, when you're a manager, you have no choice to talk to people. You got to call these vendors. You got to call money services. You got to call ATM technicians because the ATM fucked up. And you basically age rapidly mentally if you're a very close person or a person that's in the bubble growing up. It basically makes you no longer, I guess, a interlope, or what do you call that word? Introvert. There you go. You no longer become an introvert when you have these type of titles and jobs. And I just started applying that to just YouTube, and then just reaching out to people like, "Hey, this game. Hey, let's collaborate. Hey, come on my show. Hey, let's talk. Hey, let's chill." And that's essentially it. But that's Senpapi. That's like that. I'm still like this to this day. Like when I went to Boston, I still had, the Rick in me. And then people come up to me like, "Hey, sign my thing." And I'm like, I'm fucking a nobody. And it's like, "Oh, dumbass, Senpapi is big." And then people are like, "Oh, let's get a picture together." I'm like, I'm just a regular dude who grew up in New Jersey. And then you again have to realize, oh yeah, Senpapi's, he's known. And it's just that code switching. That's all it really is.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And you just stay humble. That's all. That's the main key as well. Just stay very humble and just ride the wave. Just don't think you're fucking Aquaman or Neptune with a freaking fork and a trident, and you're just gonna stab motherfuckers on the way, on the end of the wave. No, just ride that wave.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah,
crash
you gotta
and
remember
drown
why
and see Juice World, then that's fine. Then, but if you learn how to ride that wave and be chill with it, then be chill.
Yeah, you have to remember why you stay humble though, and that's so that you don't get ahead of yourself, miscalculate, and fall really badly. And the only reason I think the only way for me to stay humble is if I'm consistently learning, because if you don't learn, you feel like you know it all, and then that's when the ego comes into play. So I just remind myself all the time that I am nothing.
Yeah.
As a way of pushing myself.
Yeah, my thought process is the same exact way. Even to this day, like me recording the style that I'm recording right now, only started this like 3 weeks ago. The way I started recording back when I first started to how I record now is completely 180. Even like when I first started recording to even like a year later, they were 100% on 180 from each other. And then how I went from that point to this point, again, they're a whole 180 again. There's so many things I'm learning because I never used to do audio format and, you know, separating the audio files. Now I do. And then I used to have my face cam in the top right and the game capture as one thing. Now I record my video, my camera, and then the game as 2 separate things and just overlap each other. So that's new. That's a new method I just learned about 3 weeks ago. And it's just like, there's always things I'm always learning. And I'm like, I already know I'm nowhere near the best. I've seen how I edit. There's days where, yeah, I'm the shit. And then I'll look at Twitter and I'll see these people who've been editing for like 5-10 years. And I just see their premiere and I see all these little cuts and all these multiple layers. I'm like, yeah, nah, I'll quit. I'd rather just be in the corner.
No, but that must be so exciting to see that though, because it's like one day I can get to this level and I can do it in my own style, and I can't wait to see what that's like.
That is very true.
That must be such a cool thing to see.
Yeah, like when I used to edit, I used to like see big chunks, and then I would just put like little subtitles here and there, and then I would just see like a big thing like this, and then a little cut, and then a little like a 30-second clip, and then it's like a 10-second clip, and then like a minute and a half. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm editing. And I look at this person, it's like 2 seconds. Every single 2 seconds is a clip or a cut. I'm like,
yeah,
that's a lot of work.
It is.
And then I use maybe 5 layers of both video and for audio. I'm looking at these people that have 15 layers for video, 27 layers for audio. I'm just like, I'll get there. It will take me maybe like 27 years, but I'll get there. But you see those kind of stuff and you want to grow. And once you start working with these people, and that's one reason why I always reached out, because I see people who I enjoy and I'm like, okay, their editing format is phenomenal. Let me just pick their brain. Let me just game with them. Let me just have fun with them. And then after we get close, it's like, hey, do you have any tips? I see how you edit, and obviously I don't want to just copy, but how can you think, can I improve? Then I'll send them a clip and it's like, how can I make this better? And we go back and forward, and then down the line, if I learn stuff, again, I'll go to them. Hey, I just learned this. Did you know about this? And most of the time they'll say no, and then we just feed off each other.
Dude, I like what you just said, because it's about learning the techniques and not the person, because so many people who make music, like if there's an artist they're like, how do I be this person instead of how do I make that good music? And then they make bad music and then they just come off as a clone. And I know that they're not trying to do that. I just know that their mindset and the way they're looking at it is the wrong way around. And you got to look at the techniques of the music and then just put yourself in it. And the best way to do that is by not listening to anyone else, if I'm honest. And that's what I do. I tend to just listen to myself, which sounds egotistical, but that way I'm not taking anything from anyone else. Yeah. Because, copyright is a thing. And I feel like I'm probably going to get struck by it one day anyway. It always follows me.
Yeah, it definitely happens with any type of services there is in the world, like with acting, with like all the things I said before. There's always going to be a moment where you're copying, and it's not, you don't do it obviously intentionally, but it happens. We're but like I think music started coming out predominantly like 600 years ago, where it was more pushed. Other than the whole native tribes having their own type of things, but like classical music was basically the more mainstream, and it just domino affected from that point on. And
Yeah.
a lot of songs nowadays it's just sampling of a sample of another sample that was a sample of a homage song. So it's like it's kind of hard to have that originality, but it's still you're still able to actually have originality with something that's not really original. And that's
Yeah.
the secret you got to learn. You have to find, okay, this person does it this format. And that's how with my brain when it comes to editing for gaming, because obviously it's different than the whole music world. I watch maybe like 20 different gamers and I'll see what makes them special. I'll say, okay, these people like this person because of this aspect. People like this person because of this aspect. And what I try my best to do is like I'll nitpick and not obviously copy and paste type of style. Okay, this person does jump cuts like this. How can I do that jump cut but make it my own?
Yeah.
And that goes for my humor as well. Like, I mean, obviously, Umbra knows my humor and it's fucked up and dark, and that's just me naturally. So it's like if people relate me to the goons, it's just that's just how I am. Always been a dark person, which is why I gravitated towards their content.
Yeah.
And it's more of a relation type of thing. And you just gotta learn how to just nitpick certain things and just make it your own. Well, obviously giving inspiration, like, hey, this is my content, but I was inspired by XYZ.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm very like that too. Like it's, I try to make it very obvious of, hey, this is what I like, and I'm taking all the different aspects of what I personally enjoy doing myself on top of what I see works, and I try to fit it into something that I can make my own art. Like, in terms of pop music or anything around that culture, everyone's done the little boy bands, little dance groups, and little dance offs, and the beach bodies, and all this. That's pop culture. That's what it is. It doesn't matter what country, what state, what planet. It doesn't matter. That's all it really is. So, for me as a pop artist or doing a lot of pop music, I'm incorporating aspects of pop that's already been done. However, I'm pushing my own agenda to enjoy it and create my own masterpiece with all that, keeping in mind, the greats before me. Keeping in mind Backstreet Boys or inspirations like Prince or stuff like that. I don't try to hide, oh yeah, this is what I like. I make it very obvious to pay my respects and show people that, this is where my artistry comes from. This is what builds who Umbra Violet is. All of this is what I enjoy. I feel like a lot of artists and other content creators need to do that. They need to pay a lot more homage to what they enjoy. And, we all live in that world of business where we all make money. We all grow by being put out there. And by being put out there is by connecting. Being put out there is by having fans or friends. Hey, I have someone who does this. I'll send their link. And there's too many people, trying to just, I like this, blah 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 blah. This is what I do, blah 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 blah, and they won't really pay that homage or show respect to, hey, go check this person out. They inspired me to do this, stuff like that. It's pretty sad, honestly. It's like for music, we don't pay producers a lot of the respect, but realistically producers carry the music industry. There's a reason why music producers make a lot more money than just vocal artists. I guess there's but at the end of the day, the people who are on the camera, the people who are out there, vocalists, they're it's not the producers, unless you're Murder Beats. But it's one of those things where I feel people have to start being a little bit more open about who they work with or what they like, and try to have everyone win. That's the main goal.
Yeah. And I guess to kind of segue from that, from the whole openness, like I said, if you're comfortable talking to this panda, but throughout the 2 years that I've done that I've met you and known you, my brain my Puerto Rican self is just looking at this. I don't know why I have this in front of my face, but I just have Cafe Bustelo in front of my face for some reason. But you finally transitioned to the person who you wanted to be. And especially now that it's Pride Month, would you want to like kind of elaborate your whole journey into actually being true self that you are?
You want me to go for the whole thing, or you want me to just?
You want to do spark notes? You can do spark notes. If you want to go through the whole thing, then that's fine. Because nowadays, no, it's not how it used to be, where it was more targeted and obviously just people were more scared. Now we're at a point in time where it's more accepting, and on top of that, since there are still a lot of people out there, no matter what type of background they have, let it be from music to just being a regular person in school or just having an everyday job, some of them are still kind of like scared to show either to the parents or to friends or just to the world. And remember you did some posts just saying that this is you now. I'm me. I'm badass. Fuck yeah. I'm this. And it's like, obviously I was so proud of you and all that kind of stuff. But how was just that whole journey?
Painful. Very painful, and I want people to know that it's not gonna be easy regardless. And if it turns out easy, then fucking hey, nice work. But you've got to be prepared for the worst, and I'm not trying to scare you. But just go into it with a cautious mindset, and a smart one as well. Because depending on your situation, it could be a lot worse than what mine was as well. You know, some people may physically attack you. You will get comments that like you'll get loads of comments. Like I don't even like have friends, but I still get loads of comments. So trust me, you will find comments coming your way. But I don't know, for me, like I faked who I was for ages, and there's probably a lot of issues that have affected me because of it. But
Yeah.
I was the complete opposite of who I am, and then when I came out and I told my my family, they could not believe it, and they thought I was lying. I'm pretty sure, which is understandable. And there was some miscommunication. There was a lot of emotions. You know, it's an emotional topic for families. And something I want to say to someone who's dealing with being transgender or non-binary or their sexuality or whatever, if your family do not get it, it may not even be the subject itself that they don't get. It might just be the fear of them not understanding you, as they've known you your whole life, and before you're born they already have such a deep emotional connection with you that they will create an idea of you the same way the people who are listening to this now all have an idea of who we all are. The same way, even though us three know each other, we all see each other in a specific light, and we may be completely different to how we see each other. And your family sees you in their way and how you've shown yourself. And I showed a completely different side to who I am now. And just for me to be like, yeah, I'm this, that is a bit of a slap in the face. But at the end of the day, it was real, and I had to do it at some point. And you could look at it like, oh, how could you do this? Like, come on, it's family, be real. But a kid don't know that. You know, a kid doesn't know that. And the thing is I was bullied at school, like fuck. I was jumped and shit, like after school and shit like that. And just because I was short, not even because of that. I couldn't imagine that. And the thing is if I'd come out sooner and been like jumped and shit for that, that would hurt me so much more, and I would not be here. Like I would have probably have offed myself a lot sooner. So, you know, don't want that. We don't aim for that. So yeah, no, I am I came out to my parents. There was a lot of, you know, it was very painful because it was just this fear of, do they even want to get it? You know, but then there's emotion, and emotion defies logic a lot of the time. So you had like, and I was being emotional as well as they were, so there wasn't much logic going around, and then things panned out a specific way, which I won't get into because that's more of a personal thing, but things got a bit messy, and the mindset that put me in was I went from living in a certain house with certain people and blah 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 to living in a different house with different people, and I know Umbra can relate to this, I'm sure. It got to a point where I didn't know where I was gonna be the next day, and and then things escalated from that point. They didn't even slow down. Every day I was just like laying in bed doing nothing, because if I was like, I'll stay in bed today and do nothing, and if I do the same thing tomorrow, at least then it's something I'm used to. I just needed something I was used to so I could feel comfortable and feel safe. That was that feeling I was chasing at the time. And then I went into this phase of, if everything's going to be different, fuck it, I'll play into it, I'll ride with it, I'll try ride the wave. So I got my ears pierced, I started I was all anti-drink and all this, right? And then I went out for my first night, and then that completely changed. Yeah, it completely changed. And then I got my first boyfriend. That was different. There was this crazy night actually where my boyfriend and I, we had woke up, sunny day. We were like, oh, we could play games, shit we were doing before. And then I was just like, why don't we just go to a different city for a night? Just change everything. And then before you know it, we're in a different place doing some crazy shit. And life just, I don't know, I can't stress this enough. I never knew where I was going to be, and I still don't really. I'm in Canada now. I'm from the UK. I'm in Canada. I didn't even think, I was planning on coming here, and I kept saying to my family and that I was going to come here. I didn't believe it. A part of me was like, there's no way I'm going to Canada. I couldn't really picture it. And even when the flight was booked, I was like, really? But I'm here, and I've been here for months, and it doesn't even feel like it.
No.
But yeah, I can't stress how that sort of phase may hit you in your life at some point if it hasn't. And obviously Infy doesn't have to talk about his situation or anything if he doesn't want to, but I know he's been in a similar situation with not necessarily knowing where you're going to be. And things now with my family do get it. It just took them time to see it. They just needed to know that it was true, and even though I'm out, and the confidence that may come out is also just I really want to touch on something actually now that I've thought about it. Right, okay, I'm gonna touch on this real quick because just real quick, okay.
Go right ahead.
It's something I've had a lot of talks about LGBT stuff, right? As over the past year, whatever, because I've been trying to talk to people who don't necessarily understand it and who want to learn it. And someone said to me, right, who I won't out, obviously. They said, I don't get it when a gay person or whoever is just so in my face about it, right? Why do you have to push it all the time? Why is it such a big thing about your personality? Why can't you be something else without it? And I don't have this issue because I don't really put it out there, but I see why people do. And the reason for it is, if you put something out there over and over and over again and it really bothers someone, that's not someone you need in your life. You can kick them out because there's something there that bothers them. And whether it be you're being yourself and they can't be themselves, so that makes them jealous, or if they just don't like your life choice, and that's not someone you need. And the thing is if someone can listen to it and be like, yeah, no, that's cool. Do you mind if we talk about something else though? Just because I'm genuinely bored, you would be like, oh no, fair enough. But the thing is, no one ever says that, and that's the thing. I just wanted to bring that up because I think that's something a lot of people don't necessarily talk about, and I think it's
Yeah.
mainly just an indicator, of seeing who you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I guess.
I think like even in that situation though, in terms of Pride Month, since we're on it,
Pride Month, turn up.
Pride Month. You see, I've always had this circumstance. Rick could testify this, Pandas could testify this. I come off as a lot more effeminate, as people want to throw this out there, than masculine, right? And it was one of those situations where people didn't understand the concept of the spectrum, right? For example, we have artists such as Prince, who everyone knows Prince was definitely smashing women. Definitely, right? Prince had women all over the place. Now, conversations could be said that Prince was potentially bi, but I don't think anyone even knew that. Point is a man like that who could come off as effeminate as can be, not so masculine, comes off as that, is still deemed by women as this masculine figure. I think a problem lies where there's people like me who I don't want to say qualify, but people who are like me who aren't gay, or who aren't on that LGBTQ, but it's almost like we're pushed into it because of society norms. Like, for example, right, when guys wear makeup at this point, it's still such a frowned upon thing. And it doesn't matter if like someone is gay or not. It doesn't matter if a man is straight or not. It matters that there's something that doesn't belong on that person's face. And I too have been, discriminated against, my family, friends, by just how I look. And, how I look has nothing to do with how I sexually carry myself. It's, it's very obvious I carry myself a certain way. I like women. But it's always kind of just like, oh, a guy can't do this because it's not okay. It's not okay for a man to like, paint their fingernails and stuff unless they're gay. But then even then, if a man is gay and they do it, it's still weird. And I do want to touch on the fact that like there's always going to be people who come out a certain way. There's always going to be a woman who is a lot more masculine in feature, but she's a straight woman. You know what I mean? There's, we've all met a woman who comes off as somewhat masculine, but surprise or not, she's not lesbian. She's straight as can be. You know what I mean? And it's one of those situations where, it shouldn't matter what someone does to themselves. It shouldn't matter how someone carries themselves. What matters is who that person is, with it or without it. It shouldn't matter. Yeah, in Pandas's, situation, I remember, oh my God, I'm going to touch on this, Pandas. I remember Pandas would always call me and she would be like, I have a weird question.
Oh, no.
What's the question, Pandas? What do you think I am? What? Do you think I'm straight?
Oh yeah, this was so good. I used to call Infy and other people as well and just be like, I have a question. And then they're gonna think, oh shit, what have I done wrong? Or what have I done? Have I said something? And then I'm just like, do you think I'm gay? Do I come off gay to you? Like, is it obvious? And then they're like, wait, obvious? Are you gay? And I'm like, whoa, what? But yeah, go on.
Yeah, so Pandas will always call me and hit me with that. And, what's crazy is I never really looked at it like this, but Pandas had a very nasty row and habit of constantly using women profile pictures, right? But I never looked at it as anything more than just that. I never looked at anything that Pandas did more than just who I knew Pandas was.
Mhm.
You know, so even when I guess the line started becoming less blurry, and then Pandas decided to finally hit me with the, "Hey, I'm trans." Listen, I was already shipping Pandas as a man with Kyle. All right, I was already shipping that beforehand. So you know, when situations played out, I was just like, okay, cool. I support. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I think I was a lot more happy about it than she probably was, and I think it was kind of weird for her. You know
I
what
mean,
I
it was a
mean? Because
hard
it's
time for me, so it wasn't like my proudest moment.
yeah, yeah. So like, no, because like the problem is, you know, I tried to be one of those people, especially since I understand the struggle of being discriminated or like, you know, pushed to the side based on something. Although
Yeah.
I might not be a part of LGBTQ, but I will definitely consider myself an ally to that shit. I'll fight. But, you know, in Pandas' situation, you know, I wanted to still stay the same. Like, you know, because realistically, there's no difference between anything between then and now. I mean, you know, there's a lot of a difference on her end, but for me, it's still Pandas. You
Yeah.
know, it's still the same person I met on Discord. It's still the same person that I used to bully from time to time. So it's just like, you know,
Yeah, it's
I-
just
you know,
I just want to say that one of the reasons why I asked people if I came off that way is because I got so many different answers. So many people thought I was gay, bi, and all these different things. And then when I asked my family had no idea. They were like, "What? You're like the straightest of straight guys we know." I was like, "What? Honey,
you, s-
girl, you don't fix that attitude." Like, what?
you see, I always made the joke that I thought Pandas was straight. I mean, realistically, Pandas is straight. Just, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Pandas isn't straight. You are a woman dating a man, so you're
I mean,
straight.
don't
I
give
mean,
him too
true,
much credit.
true.
But like to expand on basically what you guys were saying, it's just like for obviously the thing you were mentioning at the very start of the conversation about why people kind of display people who are part of the LGBT when they kind of like people quote unquote say over show it. If you think about
Yeah,
it
like
in
one of those
their
who flaunt it.
like if you think about it, sometimes these people have been hiding themselves for maybe 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And then they're finally accepted. And they finally have a community that will accept them.
Mhm.
Wouldn't you want to just kind of like
Share that with the world.
share that? And sometimes, even though it may seem like you're oversharing, you're fucking prideful as hell. You're fucking happy. You're
Yeah,
just like, yes, the world finally accepts me, or majority of the world. Because obviously, you still have people out there that still old-fashioned and don't see the world how it's supposed to be, and they're still back in 1920 visions. And you know, you can't change
yeah,
that kind of stuff. But majority of the people around the world acknowledge it. They accept it. They understand it. And when you're finally at a time period where people will actually respect it, of course you're gonna want to flaunt it. Of course you're gonna want to be like, this is me. I've been hiding this for 20 years. I just can't contain this anymore. And that's how I kind of see
yeah.
it. And I worked with so many people who been in your shoes, Panda, 1000%. And I'm not gonna say the person's real name. I want to keep them obviously just whatever. I'm just gonna say A. I'm gonna say A and Z. If the person watches this, which is gonna be highly unlikely, but if the person does watch this, they know who they are. But when I started working at Walmart, this person was at that time her name was Z. But he used to tell me all these different things of how he felt, and he's like, man, no, this I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. No, I'm with this person. I'm dating that person. It's like it doesn't feel me. I don't feel like I'm being the real me with her. And then he decided to do a journey, put on YouTube, put it on TikTok, put on all the platforms, and he started taking testosterones and doing the whole shot process and trying to do all the different things, and actually got the beard we call it the I guess the surgery. And then every single month, when that whole the whole trend on TikTok was, this is 1 month on this, 2 months on this, 3 months, and you just progressively start hearing his voice getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
Mm.
And then I remember before I was fired from Walmart. But before I was fired, he came up to me and he's like, Rick, I want you to read this. I opened it and it was a letter saying that by law, he is him. It is no longer Z.
Mhm.
He is now officially A and classified as a male. And all I did was I just threw the paper to the side, gave him a hug. I'm like, I'm proud of you. And it's just like you love hearing those kind of stories. And even the person who I went to high school with, same thing, severely bullied, jumped, bullied, just teased, and he gained a lot of weight and
Yeah.
didn't know how to feel about it. And high school was finished with, he graduated, wasn't comfortable with the name that he was given at birth, and he disappeared for a good, I think, a year. Posted a picture, he lost 200 pounds, and now he does a drag in New York.
Yeah,
Get on.
And he has his new name. He's proud of who he is now, and he just does his shit. And just like, bro, I love stories like that, and it's the fact that I see no hate in his comments. I see everybody just praising and just congratulations, awesome, this, that. And that's one thing that people need to understand, that don't hate this community. Even every single community in the world has a bad apple. So Hispanics have bad apples. You have, African Americans have bad apples. Caucasians have bad apples. Doesn't matter what categories you put people in. Everybody has bad apples. I can understand why you may not like this particular group of people or this particular group of people, but don't generalize a small percentage.
Yeah, and also those bad apples are just misled, and they have trauma. They have things going on. So to those who can see those people, just know that they're hot. And I know that's not like, enough to like, I'm not saying, oh, you should be fine with them, they're hot. Because no, they need to learn, but they need to learn themselves. So it's best to just sort yourself, remove yourself from the picture, let them deal with it, and come back to it,
Yeah, sometimes they just need guidance. That's all it really is. When you're going through this thought process of like, damn, society is telling me to be this, society is telling me to do that, the world is basically telling me if I do this, then XYZ is gonna happen. Sometimes they just don't know how to react, so they sometimes go off course. But at the end of the day, there's always one or many people you can relate to, and all you need to do is, once you see that bad apple, just take them under your wing and say, hey, listen, me and you are the same person. How you feel is how I felt. This is how I dealt with it. This is how my transition process was, and this is how I accepted myself, and this is how I portray myself to the world. This is the process you do. This is how you do it. I can understand your frustration. I can understand that you want to, show off, but nowadays XYZ is basically not really how you're supposed to do it, but this is how you can become more acceptant of around the world, and then slowly just be a little bit more. Just people need to process these new things, and it's like I said, even though I think currently in the world, the LGBT makes up 3% of the world. Obviously, a lot of people still don't understand it, and you gotta let these people to basically process this. Not everybody's gonna process it. People are gonna always, no matter what you do, people are always gonna hate. But try your best not to give them any more fuel.
Yeah, give it 50 years, they may be gone.
Even less than that, but give it 30. But it's a journey. You definitely need guidance. It's also is good to have your own solo adventure with it and have your own story with it. But it's always good to just be open. If you can't be open with your family at first, find a friend you could just confide to. Find a person who's part of the community you're a part of, and just like, hey, this is how I feel. How do I do this? How do I come out to my family? How do I come out to my friends? How do I come out to the world?
Yeah.
And just slowly just become you.
And I just want to say to anyone who has like to anyone who feels like they have a mask on or that they need to hide at home in the corner of their room, you are not alone and you are loved. So, and even if it's not by the people around you, there are people in the future that will. And if you don't even think that there will be, just know that I do, and I'm here right now and I'm living proof. And you can't change my mind. I'm stubborn, so fuck you.
Exactly.
So,
like I said, there's nothing. There's nothing wrong with it. And like I said, I could go super deep into it, but I'm not gonna even touch that aspect with it because I'm not trying to get certain hate from certain groups of people. Because I could easily prove a lot of things wrong. Like I said, I'm a full death ally, but I'm not gonna touch that subject. So
I think like as well, especially with Gen Z or whatever the fuck the names are, right? Everyone is so tied up in labels that even the right reasons why we use them aren't working anymore. That's just my personal opinion. I think that people need to realize that they're a fucking animal, you know, and what you want to do to make you comfortable, I love and adore that. I get that.
Yeah.
And I just think that everyone should just be, you know, what we are, which are just all animals that work in a community and love and support and eat meat and shit on the floor, you know? like, and these words, so many words, like when you look at something, you associate it with a word and a label. You don't take it for what it is. And that can keep you in a head game, in yourself. And
oh yeah, most definitely. And
if you play by rules, it feels more like a game. It doesn't feel like life. And then dissociation kicks in and then you don't even feel like you're there. So yeah,
it's just one of those situations where you almost have to kind of just still live under someone else's expectations, and by doing that you're killing your own expectations of yourself. And you know, not to say that everyone should have expectations for themselves, but you know, we all uphold certain values that we hold very dear to us, but like it's a point where sometimes we have to kind of bury that away from people. You know, we have to kind of just lie to everyone and potentially lie to ourselves that that's not how we feel or that's not how we think, but like we do. You know, it's one of those things where everyone has turned being emotional about something into a trend, and it's now making those people who are genuinely emotional about something be overshadowed because there's so much people trying to fit into something that they don't understand.
Capitalize off of it as well.
Yeah, you know, they're trying to like, for example, right? You ever notice every year during Pride Month, it's the only time that any companies and corporations have anything related to gay people.
Yep.
All these flags and these Coca-Cola cans of rainbow colors. It's a gimmick still. You know, and people don't talk about that. It's still a gimmick to this day. And you know, like I said, I might just be an ally, but that still does piss me off because it's one of those things where we only celebrate it because it's mandatory. But when it's not, it no longer matters. Hey, let's go back to beating up these gay people because they're gay. Like that's not, you know, it doesn't make it any better that we have a month to celebrate it. What makes it better is that people annually support and annually, you know, care and do things that, like, you know, support.
That's why, like, for me, I'm like not really in favor of the month. To me, I believe it should be every day. It shouldn't be a dedicated month. Yeah, it should be an everyday type of thing. It should be 365 days a year or 366 for the leap year. And it's just like it's kind of sucks when they put it only towards June, and then that's when all the companies change their, you know, their profiles and even, you know, influencers and stuff like that. Like I get that you're an ally, but why don't you talk about it in March? Why don't you talk about it in January? Talk about it in December. Talk about it in fucking usually the months that just everybody hates. February sometimes there's this short month. Just talk about it anytime. Just why do you have to wait until it's June to actually have that picture you made on July 2nd of this year, and then you gotta wait a whole year to actually post that image. Post it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Just like it's just like, I don't know. For me, how I see people, it's just I see the human species, because how I always view life is that, yes, me and my cousin, we have dark, different skin tones. He's a little bit more darker than me. He's more caramel, while I'm a little bit more like white chocolate. But how I kind of envision life and how I envision people is just like, beneath this layer of skin is red meat. Below this red meat is the white grayish bones of just the skeleton. And that also applies to gender. Removing all our meat and skin, we all have the same skeletal system. There might be a little bit differences on depending on how you're born and stuff like that, but nothing really changes us.
You're still human.
Yeah,
Like,
you're still human. Like some men, when they're born, they might have differences from other men from the skeletal system. Some women might have different shapes of bones, and their kneecap might be bigger than other women. You can't really tell 100% a gender by the skeletal system, because a lot of them could vary depending on how they're born, or genetics, or this or that, or where they grew up at. People in Africa, they're more agile because of just how they live, and different. There's so many aspects. Americans, now we're fat, so kids are slowly developing thicker bones. Depending on the climate you live in, like Tainos in Puerto Rico, their skeletal system was a little bit more. Their bones were stronger because how Native Americans here in America. They're all the same concepts, but we're different depending on what region we live in the world. So it's like you can't even tell 100% of gender by the skeletal system. So why are we treating people differently because they're this or they're that, or they're darker skin, they're lighter skin, they're non-binary, they're gender fluid, they're trans, we're not different. We're a sophisticated species. We could apply different social norms compared to just wild animals.
Yeah. And I just want to say as well to trans people, or anyone who's having a name change as well. Like I had this story from just a few months back. I was at this bar playing pool, and this guy is like, "Hey, what's your name?" Just like seems really nice and friendly, and I was like, "Oh, it's Maze." And then he was like, "What's your real name?" And I was just like, "What?" And he was like, "Your real name? What's your real name?" And I was just like, "Oh, you mean what's on paper, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I went, "But you're not going to be calling me by that." And he was like, "Why?" And I went, "Because I don't even know you." And then he was like, "Yeah, but I want to address you properly." And then I was like, "Well, then you'll address me as sir." And he was just like, "What?" And then he was just like, "You're being weird." And then he walked away. But it was like, no, if you want to get technical about it, you will address me as sir. I'm your... Yeah, no.
Yeah, you fight fire with fire with people like that. You fight fire with fire.
Daddy to you.
Yeah, I mean, on paper it says daddy. So can you call me daddy?
Yeah, but I just want to say,
Big Papa. Call me Big Daddy. Come on.
There are gonna be people that will address you by the wrong thing, and I know that it hurts. People, even if people are having a name change, maybe they've been in a family and they've called them by that name and they've abused them, whatever, and they want to escape it, whatever. Like my train of thought, I get so like, no matter what your name is, stay true to you, and it doesn't matter.
Exactly. You is your own person, and at the end of the day, you make yourself happy. You don't have to make nobody else happy.
Yep, and your
facts.
But I'm trying to find the right words. I know what I have to say now.
Daddy, or
it's the intention behind it.
Oh,
no, the intention behind it, because people slip up sometimes. People say things they don't mean to say. Shit, I couldn't even finish this fucking sentence, right? But the thing is it's the intention behind it. That guy's intention was to be like, come on, you're trans, like what are you trying to hide from, right? And I embarrassed him because that was his intention.
Yeah.
His intention was to make someone embarrassed, so we succeeded in that, and him and I worked together, and it was a positive thing. But that's how it goes, and I just want people to remember it's mainly about the intention, you know.
Yeah.
Well, some
'Cause I
people
don't-
might not meet it in that way. Like it was a good friend that you grew up with. They knew you as, let's say, like A, and then you changed to B. There might be moments randomly that accidentally they'll go by A. Like, oh shit, sorry, B. It's like
Yeah,
there's no, obviously there's no ill will to it or no anything degrading towards that. It was just, that's just like they're
Yeah.
processing.
a
They're
lot of my
coping.
family still call me by my old name when I'm fucking dressed up in a skirt and shit. Makes no sense, but you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. But the thing is if you stay true to you, so you're dressing up and whatever it is, and they're still calling you by your old name, they will end up looking stupid for it, you know.
Yeah.
And bitch, go get a bag, go get go sort yourself out, look lit, and be sexy. I mean, come on, like. And you know, when you embrace yourself and you realize that no one else like matters if they're gonna be horrible to you, and it's only the nice people that matter, you will look so much better as well. If looking for tips on how to look the gender you want, embrace it. Just relax, because stressing about how you come off makes you look uglier. I know, because I'm going through it now. I've lost my eyebrows. I'm on some like X transition type shit.
You're like a Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what's going on with my body and my whole skin, right? Since for the past like few months just went wrong, and I've lost my eyebrows. I'm not sure of my face. I haven't lost them fully, they're coming back. But yeah, no, I do not look how I wish I do look, but you know, shit happens, and if you embrace yourself and you chill the fuck out, like it's not that deep. I promise you, it's not that deep. You will look better, and if it still bothers you and you want to get to the root of it, then you need to realize why you value the things you do and where you got that from, because most of the things you value don't even come from your personality. It's from your friends or how your family have raised you. And the second you break away from that and you realize that those thoughts are other people's thoughts, you can create your own.
Yeah.
And you can create who you are. And it takes ages. This shit isn't like, you can't pay to skip the ads. I'm sorry, but we need that revenue. Like, that's how it is.
It's not pay to win.
Yeah, and the thing is you didn't just skip to the end of a film. It takes the power away from it. It's like with Joker when he shot that one guy. Sorry for the spoilers, but it will take the oomph away from it unless you watch the whole build up. You watch the struggle. You watch how much pain they go through, and then when they blossom and become the person they are. This is a really bad example because he's literally a serial killer. But when they blossom at the end, whether it be a serial killer or not, you are you.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing as well, is whether you think you're a good or a bad person, your story, even if the entire world hates you, your story is still important, because the people you affect, they may end up doing good because of what you've done. Like, think about it. Like, bad things happen, we learn and evolve from it. Bad people have good use, good people have bad use. That's things like, how many times have you seen a film or heard a story where a good person has made a mistake and then gotten loads of bad people killed, or they trusted the wrong person? Happens all the time. Look at Obi-Wan Kenobi. Sorry, Star Wars is like on my mind.
All good.
But I don't know. I think there's a place in the world for everyone.
Or
Which contradicts my whole mentality, because I always want to leave. But no matter what happens, you are needed, you are loved, and you are wanted, and we all support you. Yep. And I know these two will support you. Yeah.
We will see you on the moon.
Yeah, we'll see you on the moon.
So segueing from that, so obviously with my YouTube journey and then me using you guys as essentially like my intros and outros, and that kind of gave you guys a little following. How was that feeling?
Little following, Rick. Nah, you're not getting away with just giving it like a little bit of credit, Rick. You made this so possible.
Yeah. Like literally all this just
like I'm trying not to
happened.
swear right now, but you gotta be kidding me. Like my main platform was fucking SoundCloud. Sorry for swearing. But
Okay.
like there was a few people that were like, yo, this has so much potential, right? And that's all cool, but you made it come alive.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
And the thing is like anyone could say like, yeah, but Pandas, you made the product in the first place. You put it together. Infy wrote the lyrics. The song wouldn't even exist. Doesn't matter if the song exists or not, because it wouldn't have been brought to so many people and wouldn't be, the algorithms wouldn't be picking it up, and we wouldn't be expanding if it wasn't for Rick right here. So like,
literally, yeah.
Give credit where credit is due, and thank you.
Yeah, bro, you got to take more credit, man, because listen,
you gotta be like, I made these guys. They ain't nothing without me.
bro, listen, seeing on the moon would not be 70,000 away from a mil if it wasn't for like what this channel's done. So yeah.
And shout out to the people that listen to it as well, because it wouldn't be possible without them. Thanks for giving us shit.
Yeah.
Thank you to the Lilies. Thank you to the Lilies. Pandas doesn't have his own group name yet, but the Lily Nation all around the world.
Yeah, I don't really have a fan. I don't really have like a fan name because I don't know. They're just people to me. And
no, they are people. But you know what? One day there's gonna be way too many people to remember their names. So I'm gonna give them a name, which means something. They should love inside and love themselves. So you know.
Okay, so that's what Lily's. Okay.
So cute.
Yeah, so actually, so Lily's, I spell it Lily, and it just stands for love inside, love yourself. So that's where Lily's came from.
We need that on the shirt.
You're like the third person to say that. Yeah, I probably will one day. It's
yo, I wanted to talk to you about merch, but we'll do that like off this.
Okay.
To me, like I said, I'm always humble. So it's like, it always like it's always
Come
hard
on,
for
you
me
don't have to be humble for 5 minutes. You can put the humbleness away. You can be like, yeah, I fucking ran that shit. Like,
no, it's just like even to me, it's hard for me to process. It's just like the things like I guess I done, and it's just like I don't know. It doesn't hit me. Like I just do things just to do it, and I just feel like people deserve it. And it's like just those little rebuttals y'all just did. Like it's just like it hits.
Rick, you created a wave, and when a wave hits things, it bounces and creates more.
Yeah.
So you created all these waves.
Like quite literally, you made my song "Envy Me" do really well, but then you made our song "See You on the Moon" almost. Well, yeah, it's double "Envy Me."
So I wouldn't know like any of this. Like there's so many factors that just haven't been taken into consideration. You've done a lot, and you'll do more. And the thing is you could quit right now, and you'll still be doing more. That's the thing.
Wow.
So
like I said, it's just,
and the same goes for Umbra as well. He hasn't recorded, right? In over a year. We were supposed to release an album like over a year ago, right? But he's still making moves, right? And he's still bringing joy to people. And those people may be inspired by what he does, and then they may continue that same effect. So he's still succeeding. I think we're all succeeding, and I'm proud of you all.
Oh yeah, we're all excelling in our own way. You know?
Yeah, like I said, I'm definitely proud of both of you guys, and like I said, I picked you guys for a reason. I see talent in both of you guys, and like I said, how I always envision myself was, if I have a platform, I want to push people out to surpass me. I want people to basically grow bigger than I am. And if I get myself to 1 million, I want you guys to be at 10. If I get to 10, I want you guys at 50. And that has always been my envision. And like I said,
Yeah.
I'm just like processing what you're saying. It's the same moment when I was, talking with Soup, and I told him, like, it was on the podcast that on the Six of Fire show, where I told him, like, the compilations with this and that. I made it just for the heck of it, and it just saying all this kind of stuff. And all I said was, I'm glad that I was able to actually, ask you guys, a few thousand people to go on your channel. And then he's like, thousands? He goes, motherfucker, what you talking about? You brought us millions. And it's just like, obviously, it's hard to process that kind of stuff, especially I'm me, and I don't see numbers. I'm not egotistical at all. I'm just down to earth. I just do things for fun. I just want to make people laugh, and also just brings people's potential to their fruition. Like, I don't care if I lose everything.
But no one else
is
seeing the numbers neither. No one else is seeing the numbers neither. It's everyone is feeling joy from all of these different things because you did it.
Yeah, and that's the point I was trying to make. It was just like, I'm essentially, I created a wave and pushing it out, and creating a wave and pushing it out, and creating a wave and pushing it out. And I just never processed how big that wave, potentially I created. And just like, I never knew how many people who I helped, and the messages you said you're getting, and the messages Infy was getting, and even the messages the goons were getting. When I was speaking with goons, when I went on their podcast before we started recording, dude spoke to me about how much I helped him, and Soup telling me how much I helped him, and then me going to Boston, and Grizzy and both Matt basically telling me how much I helped them as well. And just like, it's hard for me to just like process that, because it's like, I just
you're a good person, you do good shit. That's
the reason.
The most sense I've had on this entire podcast. No, I'm taking.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's just, I just breathe and just blink my eyes, and that's just how I see things. I just don't see like the ripple I create. And
well, I think it all comes down to good things happen to good people who deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those. It is. It's one of those circumstances where, how in every superhero movie there's always that one powerful line where it's like, with great power comes great responsibility. Great power comes in time of need, not in time of your want. And I think the same kind of formula happens with like our journeys in life. Because I remember, like, when Senpapi was doing YouTube, he I'm not gonna get too deep into the type of shit that he was, into before it really flourished, but like, homie wasn't doing too good. Like, like, he was depressed like every single one of us. He wanted something different. At the end, there was times where I remember he was questioning his YouTube journey and career, and he was just like, I don't know if YouTube's gonna work. And look at where he's at now. Like, man's at like, what, 150,000 plus subs or whatever the case is at this point. Like, it's quite literally a lesson that if you really want to grow in this like type of journey, this type of life, it does not matter about, hey, let me do this for the streams. Hey, let's do this for the the monetization. Let's do this for the like ad revenue. It's all about, let's kind of give what I have to other people, and it comes back. It definitely comes back.
Yeah, and that was my message. I started doing compilations for the goons, and then I found the friends that they worked with, and they're quote unquote, they were a very small channel. I saw the momentum I was getting from compilations, and I purposely did compilations for them to help them grow. And same thing for other individuals that I knew they were within that circle, and I see them only with 800, 600. I'm like, bro, why am I at 80 or 90,000, but this person is at 600? So I would throw posts, hey, if you guys enjoy XYZ content, or people like the goons, or people like Grizzy, these individuals also play with Grizzy and the guys. but they're only at 800. Get them to 5,000. And it was
Mm.
just like I just do that. I just because it goes back to what I was saying before. Back when I was in school, I became the friend that I wish I had.
Yeah.
And I guess like even to this day, I still apply that to YouTube. I see all these people who are talented, has so much talent, and they're very talented and phenomenal, and they're creative, and they have all these things. It's like they're not getting recognition. What can I do to help them gain to the point where they have the recognition? And that's just my process. But it's like, again, I go back to Rick. Rick is just a very closed person, and it's kind of hard for me to like basically process what Senpapi does when I'm always in Rick mode.
Yeah.
So it's just like that's why I just how I am. And like I said, I'm just glad that I pushed a platform for both of you guys and helped so many people gain a platform as well.
Yep.
Big ups, bro. Big ups.
Big ups.
Taking that Mario mushroom right now.
The green ones, right?
And I guess for the ending topics on hand, so we can wrap this up. In 5 years, what do you guys plan on doing?
It's a dark topic. This is dark.
Okay, now to be fair, I guess since this is like the ending topic, I'll get a little bit serious about this. I've always told Pandas this, but I've always said, when I first started making music, if around 23 or 24, if I didn't like really get a grip on what's going on, I'd probably off myself. I don't feel that same way anymore, by any means. I feel like a lot's changed, both good and bad. In terms of like the next 5 years, I would love to still be making music. I would love to. In 5 years, you know what? I don't want to undersell myself, but I would be really happy if in 5 years I was making just enough money to successfully live comfortably and pretty good off music. I would love to say I would love to be touring around the world, selling out shows and have a Grammy. Like, all that would be really cool and all, but as long as like I have such a great following where I'm living perfectly fine just making music at my house, then I'm content. 5 years from now, I'd be a lot more of a talented artist. You guys would catch me doing some shows, definitely dancing, singing. I'll definitely take over that scene. I'll say that. But
don't undersell yourself. I think you'll be able to do a lot more when you get like say you start recording and that again soon, right? We already got Cyber Demons, right? So you're off to a really strong start because that shit's fire, right? Like
Cyber Demons is really good, yeah.
And you haven't even
really
tapped into your own stuff. You haven't even released your own like album yet,
and
that shit's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. It's it's funny because I've always like for the past 2 years, 3 years of me making music, I'm dropping an album, guys. You guys are ready for Insomniatic Imagination? Are you guys ready for
But notice how you haven't done it yet. And I think that's because you're nervous, because I think there's a part of you that knows the second you do it, it'll be so good and everyone else will know it as well. And I think there's a part of you that may be a bit scared of that wave hitting you, because that's a real wave, But I know you'll do it, and I know you'll like achieve it regardless, and it's gonna be.
I just want to be ready for it, because we weren't ready for the See You on the Moon phase, believe it or not. See You on the Moon took some time to grow, but when it really started hitting and when it really started plateauing, it was just like a crash of like new feelings. So I think at this time I want to be ready to like drop an album when I'm more than capable of. After that album, I get to keep the ball rolling. As far as like right now musically, I haven't been recording a lot. I've been writing songs. I have quite a bit of songs written. But I've been like going to shows. I've been meeting artists in real life. I've been talking a lot more artists.
I saw that. That shit was so cool.
Yeah. So I've been trying to kind of reach out and build myself not only as just my music, but like build the people I'm around. You know, which is why I'm around like people like Nacri, or I talk to 916 Frosty a lot, or I'm around Teflon Sega a lot. Like it's these people that I'm trying to build bridges to towards. Yeah.
Right. How about for you, Panda?
5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
I don't even know where I'm gonna be like next week. But
What do you envision? What would be something you wish be done in 5 years? Make it more simplistic.
Within the next 5 years, I hope to have all of the pillars out, and I won't explain what the pillars are just yet because in the future it may make more sense.
Knowing
double-
Pandas, I'll see through to that. I'll see through to that.
I want all the pillars to be out. I wish to create enough entertainment for people to enjoy and to learn, and I hope that within those years people would have listened to what I've said, because I don't say bullshit. Even though it sounds like it in my songs, there's some truth and there's some real cool stuff in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't really see myself being there to necessarily enjoy it with everyone. But if I am, hopefully it didn't bomb. And if not, then just know that I still succeeded regardless, and I know that what I've done is enough, and that I am enough, and I'm not sad, and I don't feel like I had wasted potential or anything like that. Thank you.
There you go.
Well,
there you go.
Hey, yes, round of applause, guys. Come on.
Well,
Also,
we still got to make it a point to link up at some point, Pandas.
Yes.
So.
Oh, and real quick, I know this isn't an interview or a podcast about him, but Say Less, I just want to say that thank you to Say Less, and I also want people to look out for Say Less, because Say Less is gonna have a lot of impact on music and people in the future. And I just can't wait. Like Infy is hard. The music that you know Say Less have been putting together, it's different and it's cool. And the cool thing about us three is we're all very different. So I think it would just be nice for people to see a different element that contributes to everything. So I just wanted to put that out there, because there's always something new around the corner that no one's ready for. So
very true. Yeah. Very, very true.
Say Less is gonna have his time to shine, man. I'm telling you.
All right, guys. On that note, hope you guys enjoyed today's video and with our two amazing guests. If you guys want to see them again, let me know in the comment section. If you guys want me to actually bring Say Less on a video, so you can explain and have either all three people on.
Four angels.
Yeah. Oh, the angels back.
The angels back.
So if you want me to bring everybody on as part of the angels, or to just bring Say Less and Panda, or have again Umbra, Say Less, and Panda together, let me know in the comment section below. They have a whole bunch of stories, and there's so many things they could expand on, and it's always going to be something fun, and can showcase a lot of things, talk about life, and just talk more about what we talked about today, and just expand more on it. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of things to come. I will definitely leave all their socials in the description below. So obviously after the show, just send me everything so I could put it in the description. But if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like, subscribe, as well as follow their platforms, follow everything they do, download their songs.
I need my clout. You my clout.
Download their songs on Spotify, and definitely listen to them on their Spotifys as well. I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.